I've been seeing a lot of golf ball dimple technology, and I think most of them are wrong. The Bugatti Bolide has active dimples. Porsche GT something or other has dimples on the edge of an under tray. I've seen dimples on intake manifold runners, and also Mythbusters claimed a 14% fuel economy benefit in a dimpled clay Taurus that they did a long time ago, and I'm just not buying it. Um, Engineering Explained, Donut Media, and Adam Savage Tested have done a pretty decent job explaining the dimpled golf ball drag reduction by going from a laminar or steady flow regime to a turbulent or chaotic flow regime where there's less flow separation and results in less drag. What they haven't shown you is how this changes with velocity and why that's critical. So here's a plot from NASA showing the drag of a sphere with different Reynolds numbers. Reynolds number is a dimensionless coefficient that helps predict fluid flow patterns in different flow dynamic situations by measuring the ratio between inertial and viscous forces. That's pretty technical. I like to keep it simple and think about Reynolds number, where higher Reynolds numbers will disrupt flow more. So a larger diameter object moving the same velocity through air will disrupt the flow more. And then also, as you increase velocity, right, that's going to disrupt the flow more and be in a larger Reynolds number area. So the flow changes from a laminar to turbulent regime as you go from this low Reynolds number to high Reynolds number. The plot from NASA shows that the laminar flow area is high drag to the left compared to the turbulent flow regime, but then you also see to the right where the rougher surface, like a dimpled golf ball, has more drag in this regime, and then the transition area where the dimpled surface, the rough surface, enables turbulence, lowers drag during this area, and clearly has an advantage with a rougher surface. So the golf ball really works because it operates in the exact right Reynolds number area to take advantage of this phenomena. A golf ball leaving a club or a driver at 180 miles per hour has a Reynolds number of around 2 e to the 5, where the drag coefficient is going to be significantly lower. That's going to lead to longer distance. Now, when we move to a car, the size increases significantly. So the Reynolds number increases by an order of magnitude, and vehicles are going to mostly operate in this turbulent flow regime, particularly at highway speeds, where rough surfaces will increase drag. This is why I don't believe the Mythbusters result. They did it at 65 mile per hour, and maybe why they were shocked with the result if they did their flow dynamics homework, but it's TV, so they roll the credits and move on instead of digging into it more. It's good to note that the cars are complex, so this drag of a sphere example is only a general understanding, as each car in a specific section area of that car will have its own flow dynamics occurring. As an object becomes more aerodynamic, the curve should flatten and drag should change less as velocity or Reynolds number changes. Also, a golf ball spins, so there's additional flow dynamics for that. Now for Bugatti and Porsche, they use dimpling to keep flow attached on these complex surfaces and delay flow separation. Bugatti claims a 10% drag reduction for the scoop and a 17% lift reduction overall. Now, we'll point out the scoop's a small component of that car, so 10% drag reduction over that scoop is probably close to minimal. Over the dimpled surface in the turbulent regime, the drag increases. So these function more like maybe a low drag vortex generator option that you could see on airplane wings or Mitsubishi Evos. And effectiveness depends heavily on the velocity or Reynolds number being in the right regime. If they aren't operating right at the onset of flow separation, then the dimpling is likely worthless or increasing drag unnecessarily. And Bugatti's active dimpling, it's a gimmick, albeit with a patent that I reviewed. I believe it can work to help keep flow attached under certain conditions if it's in that right regime, but using an active feature to shut it off below 50 mile per hour just isn't necessary. The drag coefficient should be the same if it's in a laminar area. The drag force is a function of velocity squared, so at low flow velocities, the drag force of this feature will be minimal. At high velocities, these dimples look large enough that the effective drag area might be slightly increased to also increase drag, So there's just no real reason to add the complexity and weight of whatever they use to make this feature active. Now, if it is active, in my opinion, they should actually be removing the dimpling when they're at high velocities where they're already in a fully turbulent regime so that they can reduce drag. Moving to intake manifold runners, when you're making real power with an engine, you should be turbulent. Dimples will increase drag. Don't do it. Don't dimple your intake manifold runners. I hope I just didn't give someone an idea to go make a YouTube video about dimpling an exhaust pipe or something. Just don't. There's a lot more going on with flow past valves into the cylinder and tumble or swirl in the cylinder, as well as Helmholtz resonance. So if you're interested in more, research that stuff, but I don't think golf ball dimples are the way to go here. If you think I missed something or got it wrong, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.